Tsaka hindi takot siya.
Eden Fire has dedicated a vibrant community. At Edelson PC, our attorneys have years of experience taking utility companies to trial for preventing catastrophic fires. Our team has taken historic fire cases to trial with an average judgment of $6 million per plaintiff. If you've suffered losses in the Eden Fire, call 626-400-6200. That's 626-400-6200. Edelson PC attorney advertising. Suite 1970, Los Angeles, California 90025. Prior results do not imply or guarantee a similar outcome. Wildfire judgments are secured by law. Appeals are pending. We defend our clients' judgments on appeal.
Good morning, I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Vicki Moore. Coming up on KNX News 97.1 FM. An update. Man, it's
Literally on the wall. Like, look over here.
I'm really glad it's Friday. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris and her plans to run for governor.
And then we're going to change the clock so she's going to lose an hour of sleep.
What did I say?
So tune in Monday morning.
What did I say last hour? Something about clock.
Yeah,
About clock.
Traffic brought to you by your SoCal Toyota dealer, Susie Jessup.
We're going to call you. The 91 has sort of been plagued with issues this morning, eastbound and westbound. We just got a call from Don, Mr. Don. He said westbound side of the 91 at Clark, there's a two-car collision blocking the carpool and partially blocking the left lane, and that's for the westbound side of the 91. And we had a number of issues in the eastbound lane, and people were slowing down to take a look. The traffic is still slow on that westbound 91 from Pioneer right now to Clark, and it opens up a little bit of slowing as you make your way past the 710 freeway. Now, eastbound side of the 91, it was normally, it's usually a breeze, but we still have some slowing based on residual slowing for the Alameda as you make your way to the 605. Once you pass the 605, good speeds as you make your way into Anaheim and Buenos Aires. So far, this county looking pretty good. I'm seeing some slowing on that southbound side of the 65. Coming away from Chapman, as you make your way in towards the Orange Crush, looks like we have a little snag southbound 55 at 17th Street. Two-car collision over the right shoulder. And you're riding the northbound side of the 405, clearing up that wreck right at Lakewood Boulevard. Still a slow ride from before the 605 and a new problem southbound side of the 605 at Cherry. This is clearing from the fast lane, but jam-packed right now from about Wilmington. Your Southern California Toyota dealers in St. Ivy looking pretty good as you make your way through the South Bay curve. Adventure is the norm when you have a brand new Toyota RAV4 with comfort, performance, safety, and technology, not to mention style. Head to your Toyota dealer today. We make it easy. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 in the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
We are drying out with more sunshine and temperatures slowly warming up just in time for this upcoming weekend. Today we're dealing with temperatures mainly in the low 60s, and it's still below average, but at least we're no longer in the 50s like yesterday. Low 60s for the coast, low 60s for LA Orange County, mid 60s for the valleys, low 60s for the Inland Empire, mid 50s for the high desert. We'll still have a slight chance of snow showers up over the mountains with a high of low 40s. By the weekend, temperatures gradually start to warm up in the 70s. Wet weather on the way as a series of storm systems are expected to push through the area starting early next week, lasting with us pretty much all of next week. And that's your next weather forecast. I'm KCAL News meteorologist Amber Lee for KNX News 97.1 FM.
Labor unions in California saying, what did I say earlier? Forget about it. For the governor and his order directing workers back to the office 4 days a week. They don't want to do it. They filed charges of unfair labor practices with the Public Employment Relations Board. According to the SACB, the unions argue that, look, the work is getting done, the business is being performed without fail, they say, but all of this is probably going to end up in court.
The former Vice President Kamala Harris seriously considering the run for governor. Politico reporting she set the deadline for herself to decide by the end of summer, and if she runs and wins, she likely then would not run for president in 2028, which she's also still thinking about. Some Democrats in the state, like the AG, Rob Bonta, have said they're not going to run for governor because they think Harris would likely win if she decides to run.
Bird flu in the news in about 4 dairy farms in San Bernardino County. They say they found it there, but health officials say the risk of infection is low. Still no person-to-person spread of bird flu in California.
New weekly farmers market starting today, free to survivors of the Eden Fire. Here's Natalie Davidian.
The owners of Altadena's popular, longtime family-owned Fair Oaks Burger are allowing the nonprofit group to host a free farmers market at their restaurant's parking lot. The restaurant itself is damaged but survived the fire. Carlos Marroquin is the national director of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation's Food for Health program.
Free community farmers market by bringing groceries, fresh produce, eggs, milk, bread to those people that are in need right now. It is a free community farmers market and everyone will be well.
He says all the food comes from local farms 6 days or even hours before they bring it to the farmers market. This will be on Fridays, starting now, and they hope to expand it to Saturdays. I'm Natalie Pavidian, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Here's something about clock story. Like savings coming up this weekend.
Parents are bracing for the dreaded time switch. Cue the grumpy kids, the chaotic bedtime, and what often feels like an endless adjustment period. Dr. Gary Feldman is a pediatric sleep specialist.
It impacts kids in a very similar way to impacting adults, in that they all get sleepy, they have lost an hour of sleep, and kids get cranky when they don't sleep or when they sleep deprived. And then besides being cranky, they get inattentive, they don't behave well, they're irritable. So it's pretty much the same as with adults.
Dr. Feldman suggests beginning a routine of getting your kids to bed a little earlier leading up to the time change and keeping their evening and morning routines as normal as possible. I'm Chris Seaton's KNX News 97.1 FM.
8:20.
Warning from the White House about a detox period for the economy. Here's Tom Busby.
Yeah, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warning of disruptions in the economy as the Trump administration downsizes the federal government, shifting growth to the private sector with tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations. Deregulation of industry. The upshot is a detox period as the economy adjusts. Now that's got Wall Street a little worried, and you can tell by what's happening on Wall Street. When you couple that with those on-again, off-again tariffs against Mexico and Canada, right now the Dow's down 189 points, almost 0.5% lower. NASDAQ down 0.75%, 141. The S&P is down 37. Job growth moderating last month. U.S. employers added 151,000 workers, a little short of forecast. The unemployment rate up one notch, 4.1%. And the value of Wrexham AFC, that's the tiny Welsh soccer club that actually money was about $2.6 billion back in 2021. Well, it's now a hit TV show and it's worth $130 million. That's a pretty good investment. I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby for the Barrister Office Suites Money Desk, KNX News 97.1 FM.
SoCal coverage is 24/7 on KNX News.
And in downtown LA, more problems with the graffiti.
Weekday mornings at 7:30.
Unpacking what we saw.
It's non-stop.
20 minutes of nonstop news.
The news you need to start your day. Commercial free.
So aside from the photo ops and the sound bites, what is being done?
Presented by Ozeron Law, the Injured Workers Hotline.
Exclusively on KNX News 97.1 FM.
So, yeah, you pay your homeowner's insurance every month, and then that day comes, and you've got maybe a broken pipe, so you got some water damage, and you say, okay, I've got insurance, I'm going to file a claim. And then eventually, your adjuster gets back to you, and the amount, you look at it and say, well, I'm not going to pay for the damage. It's Vicki Moore, and that is when you call Abner Gas. Abner Gas is a public insurance adjuster, and that means he is on your side. And you need it, even with your own insurance company, because you can try to negotiate with them. It is so complicated. Abner Gas negotiates to make sure you get the best possible outcome. Abner's team have been doing this. They have the experience that you need on your side, and the reviews. They're just looking at them again this morning. I mean, 5 stars on Yelp, Google, and the BBB. One says, I've got PTSD from the trauma and stress of just trying to deal with the insurance company nowadays on any claim. The best thing I did, they said, was hire Abner Gas. Absolutely fantastic. Now, his team, again, they've been dealing with these insurance companies for years. They know what the fine print means, how it applies to you in your case. Call Abner Gas. 818-917-5256. 818-917-5256. Abner Gas is a family-run local business in Southern California. Abner personally answers the phone. Again, it is 818-917-5256. AbnerGas.com.
West Medical's proven weight loss solutions are covered by most PPO health insurances. Call today for a free verification. Were you a patient of OBGYN Dr. Barry G. Brock at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center? Thousands of women have come forward with claims of abuse, leading Cedars-Sinai to bar him from practicing. Attorneys Jennifer McGrath and 23 while swimming with a group off the coastline of Santa Monica.
I couldn't move my left arm, and I saw in the water, which I never did. That's when I knew something was up.
It's a miracle he survived. His fellow swimmers noticed Andrew was having trouble. They got him out of the water and called for help. Each person in the right place at the right time doing what they needed to do.
Really, Dan, otherwise I think 6 feet under for sure. Took away the mobility on my left side, left arm and left leg. I would have drowned.
Andrew suffered severe physical impairment, some cognitive impairment, and had trouble swallowing. His speech was not affected too much, but he's had several surgeries and is relearning how to walk. He says he's grateful for each person who's been a part of his journey.
I feel like I have so many people to thank. People who swam to my rescue, my doctors, my husband, my family, friends who have just made my life better by reaching out to me so incredibly supportive.
Andrew is making a remarkable recovery. He's no longer in a wheelchair, walking with the assistance of a cane, and he's back in the water, connecting with the nonprofit Life Rolls On and Angel City Sports, participating in a few swim clinics and even a couple adaptive surf clinics in the ocean. He's inspiring us all. Andrew T., our KNX hero of the week. KNX helps Honda heroes made possible only by your SoCal Honda dealer. Follow them on social media at SoCal Honda Dealers to see how the helpful Honda guys and gals in blue are surprising people with random acts of helpfulness. I'm Heather Jordan, KNX News, 97.1 FM. 825.
Traffic now brought to you by Carson Kids.
Being along those you right on the 405 freeway, Downtown Valley, pretty rough right now. Southbound side on the 405 and Harbor Boulevard, a wreck involving a motorcycle and a car blocking the fast lane. Two left lanes are blocked. Not that fast track, fast line, fast lane, and that's why traffic is really heavy slow from the corner. Once you pass Harbor, though, good speed as you make your way toward, basically to 55, continue on towards the Irvine. All lanes open and clear through there. Now, we did have that other problem on that northbound side of the 405 freeway right at Lakeland. That's being cleared, so it's not visual only. From Ladell, 605, 54 to 605. Southbound side of the 405 freeway right at Cherry, just Lincoln, clear from the left lane. But right now, traffic is slow. It's slowly almost towards, I mean, the line of no problem at all. On the westbound side of the 91, right at Clark, blocking a car in the left lane. Now, westbound side of the 91, heading south from Shoemaker, your eastbound lane, keep going and make way down to 710 freeway. Northbound side of the 405, heading to West LA, standing on the brakes, basically from Manchester to Wilshire. Problem at Wilshire. It's the Wilshire offset that gave a problem right at the southbound side of the 405 freeway. And he's loaded up right now. Cars for kids. Drifting over your old vehicle. Now you guys pay again except tomorrow. It's the easiest service out there. Get it online at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. They're found on reliable transport every 10 minutes at a time. The Dash Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
or visit bostonmedicalgroup.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours has seen one too many miles to stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. Keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Think, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusive supply.
Take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Take GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs. This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you suffered from the wildfires, one question will tell you if you found the right lawyers. Ask if they only take wildfire cases. They don't. Bridgeford, Gleason, and Artenian are the experts because wildfire law is all they do. They've represented nearly 12,000 victims, recovering nearly $2 billion for their clients, and they'll help you. For expert representation or a wise second opinion, come to a free informative town hall meeting near you. Get details at wildfiretownhall.com. wildfiretownhall.com. wildfiretownhall.com.
Give DowneyHyundai.com a try. New or used, they guarantee to satisfy.
From the downtown LA Law Group Injury Health Studios
You've got LA's Morning News.
on KNX News 97.1 FM.
Good morning, 8:30. So Mike Simpson.
And I'm Vicki Moore. It was 2 months ago that the Palisades caught fire, and then hours later, Altadena was on fire. Here's our Craig Figner.
It's taking time and some are frustrated, but slowly we're making progress.
Yeah, the attitude we are hearing from so many people here in Altadena that they hope to rebuild, that they want to come back, that this is home. Spoke with LA County Supervisor Catherine Barber about the deep connection people have here and about just how terrible this disaster was, how bad it could have been. 29 people died. The number could have been maybe hundreds had it not been for heroes who rescued people from a burning convalescence home.
Blew my mind, and it still blows my mind.
What blew my mind was getting there that night. So Washington Boulevard, where those convalescent homes were, and in the smoke, which was thick as fog, and all the confusion and chaos and sirens, seeing people being pushed down the street in wheelchairs on the gurney to get to city buses and ambulances. That's the image. I can't get it out of my head. Because those buildings here are burned down. They would have died had they not been
Absolutely, that building is no longer in existence.
We talked to LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, asked her about the county's lawsuit against SoCal Edison for allegedly starting the Eden fire.
I think we have to look from all available possibilities, which is why we are working with our state partners on the request to our federal government for FEMA reimbursement to talk about what the fire impacts have been and how we are working in partnership to get things moving quickly.
She also talked about moving the power lines underground to help prevent future fires.
Now is the time for us to be making those investments. We were undergrounding in the Topanga Canyon area before the fire broke out. We now see Edison undergrounding along the PCH in the county areas, and so we're already doing that work in my district.
She says right now she doesn't envision raising taxes to make up for the county's budget shortfall, but that could change depending on how big that shortfall is.
The latest jobs report is out this morning, and it is the first under President Trump's second term. The U.S. economy added 151,000 new jobs in February. That's up from 143,000 in January. It's about what was expected. We talked about it with economist Tyler Shipwright with the University of St. Thomas. And he says, despite the good numbers, there are still concerns about the economy going forward.
It seems like the economy is kind of like hanging out, where it's waiting to see what's going to happen. We're seeing that in less hiring right now. We're seeing fewer job postings posted. And it just seems like the economy is in a process of waiting, one way or the other.
There were reports of a decline of 10,000 in federal employment, but the survey was done in the second week of February, and the number likely is higher. The unemployment rate last month rose to 4.1% from 4%.
The governor facing some backlash following comments that he made about transgender athletes. The first episode of his new podcast, he was talking with conservative activist and podcaster Charlie Kirk. He didn't come out and fully support banning trans athletes, but he said it was unfair for them to compete in women's sports. A lot of Democrats upset about it, saying he is caving to conservative opinions.
The memo shows the Army Corps of Engineers knew that President Trump's order to release water from the California reservoirs in January wouldn't really help Southern California. The Washington Post reports the colonel in charge understood that the water wouldn't reach the promised area, but they went ahead with it, even though the release wasn't well planned. While some of the water was saved for future use, many people criticized the action, calling it a political stunt that wasted valuable water in a state already struggling with limited resources. More than 2 billion gallons of water were released.
All right, we got an Eagle update. Big Bear Eagle Cam. Jackie and Shadow, they could soon have triplets.
There's a lot of things that can happen, but I'm going to hold hope that all three of these are going to make it.
Yeah, we got to keep our fingers crossed. All right, Sandy Sears with friends of Big Bear Valley. The third Eaglet, we have like a pip, right? So she's cracking her way out of the shell, or he or she. There's concern that when that happens, when the third one gets out, the other two, well, they're going to shove it out of the nest. But Sandy telling KCAL News, it should be okay.
That's why Jackie and Shadow built rails. They kept putting sticks all around the outside edge. It's like the crib rails they were putting on. Chances of them being able to push one out is not high.
The comments on the Eagle Cam, you ever read through these? So one person said, I love the joy I feel for the families. The first thing to see was another writing, my entire family is completely invested in these birds.
That nest is full of snow. Like, the mountains have got so much snow. I think it's going to be a good snowboard ski weekend there.
People get worried about those birds, but they puff up the feathers and then they trap air in there, and then it's just like a warm blanket. They know how to do it.
8:35.
Traffic now. Susie Justice in the Downey Hyundai Traffic Center.
I got my aunts in Kentucky and St. Louis involved. They can't peel themselves away either.
All across the country.
She said, what's going on? You guys doing it okay in LA? And I said, yeah, we're watching the Eagles.
Yeah, we're watching these birds all day.
Birds. Northbound side of the 101, right at Rampart. We got a call from Desiree from Bellflower. She said there's a wreck there. There's all the emergency crews on the scene. It's over to the right shoulder, but wow, that is really adding to that tough crawl. Northbound side of the 101, leaving the East LA interchange as you make your way to just past Rampart, and then it opens up and just feeds into Hollywood. Now the southbound side of the 101 at Vermont, there's another issue here. This was another collision. Injuries involved too. That moved over to the right shoulder, but wow, it is jammed-packed. From before Santa Monica Boulevard, as you make your way to the 4-level interchange, once you got the 4-level interchange to that southbound 101, good speeds as you make your way in towards the East LA interchange.
A private lunar lander is no longer working after it landed sideways in a crater near the moon's south pole. Earlier, the flash from the Cape said the lunar lander is dead after touching down. Intuitive Machines announced this morning, less than 24 hours after the botched landing, the lander, named Athena, missed its mark by more than 800 feet, ended up in a frigid crater, managed to send back pictures confirming its position and activate a few experiments before going silent.
SpaceX having trouble with Starship, their big rocket. Couple failures in the last couple months, maybe redesign. Here's Pete Demetrio.
In both prior launches this year, the Super Heavy booster performed as expected and returned to the launch pad and was caught by the chopsticks capture arms on the gantry. But in both cases, the Starship spacecraft broke up after experiencing failures with the second stage engines. Tariq Malik, editor of Space.com, says SpaceX engineers think they have a fix ready to solve the problem.
They have a new engine called the Raptor 3 that they say is going to fix a lot of the empty space where they've seen some of the fires broke out in the January flight. Again, it's not clear if that's the same issue for this flight, but they did say that they were going to try to get that upgrade in work for this year. Now, SpaceX clearly has to understand what's happening because this is the second time that a new version of Starship, not the ones that have flown before on their initial 6 flights, but the second time this new version since January failed. So they've got a new design that isn't working the way they thought it was, and they have to figure out what's going on.
It's not certain at this point when the next test of the Super Heavy Starship vehicle will take place from SpaceX's Texas launch facility.
President Trump has been talking about federal job cuts. Of course, we've been talking a lot about that. He told his cabinet secretaries that the decisions will now be left up to them. But if they don't get it done,
we're going to be watching them, and Elon and the group are going to be watching them. And if they can cut, it's better. And if they don't cut, then Elon will do the cutting.
Yeah, you said there have to be levels cut, there should be, but also they have to keep the best and most productive people. He says that they will learn more about the people working in the various departments, and they can use a scalpel, he says, not a hatchet. The comments are seen by some as sort of a rare instance of Trump kind of curtailing Elon's authority.
The president says he's told Iran's supreme leader, come to the bargaining table, reach a deal on the nuclear program. In an interview with Fox News, he says he warned the Ayatollah.
I've written him a letter saying, I hope you're going to negotiate, because if we have to go in militarily, it's going to be a terrible thing for them.
No response yet from Iran. Interview expected to air in full on Sunday.
People around the U.S. standing up for science today. Rallies across the country meant to highlight how science helps people. Bill Nye, the science guy, says science is an essential part of America's story.
The reason the United States is the world leader that it is in both innovation, technology, and the rule of law is because of our embrace of science, our embrace of progress through technical innovation.
So he's there in D.C., also a former government scientist, NASA's former administrator, climate scientist, and lawmakers.
Catholics with some mixed feelings after hearing the voice of the Pope for the first time since he was hospitalized last month.
Pope Francis has offered the first public sign of just how weak he is on Thursday by recording an audio message that was broadcast to the faithful in St. Peter's Square, who gathered for the nightly recitation of the Rosary Prayer. Local resident Esther Conversano describes how it felt to hear the voice of the Pope for the first time since the illness struck. Very moving, she says. It's a powerful, but in its own effort, it still transmits his hope to us, and the truth also of his suffering. While Vatican employee Alexandra De Caro tells the AP it was heartwarming. Why? For two reasons. First, because it had been so many days since we'd heard from him. We'd not seen him, so it was nice to hear him because of this. In short, we remembered him during his last audience, and then later he had sort of disappeared. I'm Charles Laverne.
841.
Do you have old injuries from a past job? New injuries from your present job? Nagging pain? Call me, Attorney Robert Ozeron, at 310-999-9989. The Injured Worker Hotline. That's 310-999-9989.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? It's a no-cost maintenance plan that covers all normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. All work is performed by factory-trained technicians using genuine Toyota parts. Toyota Care will keep your new Toyota running like, well, a Toyota. Valid only in the continental U.S. and Alaska. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Everything you need to find your perfect Toyota is right at your fingertips at Toyota.com. Explore our full lineup of vehicles. Compare features side by side. Search our available inventory. You can even find the best local offers. Everything you need is just a few clicks away on Toyota.com. So for your next Toyota car, truck, or SUV, just visit Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, it's finally happened. After 2 years of rising mortgage rates, they're finally coming down. Thanks to 3 recent rate cuts and some special deals I've arranged to find investors, I'm now finding mortgages in the 6s and in some cases into the 5s. Hi, it's Tanya King, your self-employed mortgage specialist at Right Choice Mortgage. I specialize in mortgages for the self-employed, 1099 workers, as well as investment properties, bank statement loans, and tough-to-place mortgages. Whether you're a perfect borrower or not so perfect, I can help. Call me, Tanya, 855-979-FUN. If you've maxed out those high interest rate credit cards or your HELOC, it might just make sense to consolidate your debt into one lower monthly payment. Let me look at the whole picture, crunch the numbers, and give you the info you need to make the right choice. 855-979-FUN. Let's get you the cash you need. I answer my own calls. 855-979-FUN. 855-979-FUN. 855-979-3863.
Licensed by the NMLS 1132583 and equal opportunity lender.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I used for my set.
Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking. Ooh, where'd you get your windshield wiper? eBay has all the parts that just not come on. No more annoying. Just beautiful. Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts, it's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Good morning, I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Vicki Moore. Coming up on KNX News 97.1 FM. We're getting an update today from the officials there in New Mexico about Gene Hackman and his wife.
And we're going to have a salmon shortage. 8:45, traffic brought to you by Yamava Resorting Casino at San Manuel. Susie Jessup.
It is a really tough drive in Orange County as you make your way through Fountain Valley. We have this collision blocking the 3 left lanes. It's up outside of the 405 right at Harbor Boulevard. So this is the 3 left lanes. Stick to the right, but traffic is really heavy and slow. Not as far back as Bolsa, but starting to build up towards Bolsa. So that is try and stay off that section, or just if you're stuck in it, I would get off at Warner and take Warner to Harbor and then get back on. It looks like this is right before Harbor, and that would be your downtown LA Law Group accident and injury attorney's route you can trust. And that's our toughest drive right now as you make your way through Orange County. Now it's really heavy and slow leaving Orange County as you make your way as you make your way to Bellflower. We have a number of problems at Bellflower, but another one, this is on the westbound side of the 91 right at Clark. This collision blocking the carpool and the left lane. Traffic is backing up right now towards Valley Vista. And for your ride, your Southern California Toyota dealers, Instant iView of LAX. Wow, that upper and lower loop pretty loaded up. If you're traveling on that westbound side of the 105, it does get slow. Basically leaving the 405 as you make way to Plovita Boulevard. Plovita Boulevard looks good both directions, into and out of the tunnel. Get ready to see American singer-songwriter Lauren Daigle take the Yamava Theater stage August 2nd. Get your tickets now at Cinebox office or YamavaTheater.com. Catch Lauren Daigle performing live in concert Saturday, August 2nd, Yamava Theater. Let's be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Well, it won't work. Hold on.
Oh.
After a really active last couple of days with the rain here in Southern California, we are drying out and slowly warming up. We're looking at a really nice weekend forecast. Temperatures for the beaches today will be in the low 60s by Sunday, upper 60s. For LA and Orange County, low 60s today with low 70s by Sunday. Mid 60s for the valleys with 70s starting tomorrow. Low 60s for the Inland Empire with temperatures closer to 70s by tomorrow, and then ending the weekend with mid 70s. Mid 50s for the high deserts with a 10-degree jump as we head into Saturday, and then for the mountains, still a slight chance of snow showers, a high of low 40s. By the time we head into the weekend, we'll see some 50s. We're tracking a series of storm systems that will bring widespread rain starting Monday here in Southern California into the end of next week. So get ready, because next week is going to be pretty cold, wet, and also cloudy. And that's your next weather forecast. I'm KCAL News meteorologist Amber Lee for KNX News 97.1 FM.
We're going to get an update later today, now this day 1 o'clock, from the medical examiner and the others who've been investigating the death of Gene Hackman and his wife. The condition of the bodies and the evidence at the scene has suggested that they may have been dead for weeks before being discovered. Investigators have already said that there was not evidence of a carbon monoxide or a gas leak, and they do not suspect foul play.
Parents are drinking more, they're smoking more, and that's not good for the kids. Here's Ryan Recker.
Nearly 17 million children and adolescents are estimated to live with a parent who has a substance use disorder, which puts the kids in the household in a tough spot. The study by the University of Michigan co-author Sean McCabe found that intergenerational transmission of addiction puts kids at a higher risk of predisposition of substance use themselves.
Because of their environment, they can often be thinking about substances differently, even as young as 3, 4, 5 years old. Their schema is different than their friends who don't have that at home, which is really amazing when you think about it.
McCabe said that the next step is working on family-based programs to prevent the vicious cycle of addiction.
A German technology giant will build 2 new manufacturing plants in the U.S., and Art Sanders says one will be here in Southern California.
The 2 plants will create more than 900 skilled manufacturing jobs, one here in Pomona, the other in Fort Worth, Texas. Siemens plans to invest almost $300 million in the new facilities. Plants will produce electrical products for U.S. commercial, industrial, and construction businesses. It will allow the company to also power AI data centers. U.S. is the largest market for the company. The recent investment in the Siemens U.S. manufacturing footprint and the planned acquisition of Altair, a Michigan-based software company, marked more than $10 billion investment in the U.S. I'm Art Sanders, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Low salmon numbers in California could lead to canceling the fishing season's third year in a row.
The outlook for the coming salmon season is dire.
No matter what, we're not going to have a huge fishing season for anybody, and the prospects don't look great considering the relatively low population number that their scientists are forecasting exists out in the ocean right now.
John McManus is a retired commercial salmon fisherman and former president of the Golden State Salmon Association. He tells us that the salmon population has not come back, even after 2 years of no fishing following the drought.
A third year will be almost certainly the death knell for even more people who formerly were in the industry. People are being forced to sell their boats, and they're picking up other occupations like painting houses or doing construction.
The Pacific Fishery Management Council is meeting this week. They set the guidelines for the salmon season, but John McManus tells us he's not optimistic there will be a season.
That was Steve Scott reporting.
You know what that tells me? I may have to pay more for salmon sushi. I think.
I'm sorry your life is so hard.
$8.50.
Traffic, fallout from the traffic, weather, no. Money. Jeez, it's one of these.
We could do another clock story. Something about clocks.
I'm turning into you this morning. All right, here's Tom. There's a SIG alert down on Fox. The World Health Organization now offering early retirement packages to employees over 55. That's after President Trump withdrew the U.S. from that United Nations agency back in January, pulling all U.S. funding, saying it mishandled the COVID-19 pandemic and some other crises. So those people losing their jobs. Reports of Russia's willingness to discuss a temporary truce in a war against Ukraine, well, that gave markets a little bit of a lift early today, but it did not last long. Couple that with worries about the Trump tariff wars. February jobs report, that was a little less than expected. 151,000 jobs added, the unemployment rate up a notch. Stocks are lower again. The Dow down 370 points, 0.9% lower. The Nasdaq down 1.5%, 272 points, and the S&P down 64. And in an effort to cut costs and new hiring, Wall Street banking giant Goldman Sachs pushing some of its employees to relocate to cheaper banking hubs like Salt Lake City. They're warning that if not, they could lose their jobs. Wow. I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby from the Barrister Office Suite Money Desk. KNX News 97.1 FM.
When you're stuck in LA traffic,
We get it. You just need to know why.
Every time I call in and I ask a question about a certain roadway, you guys answer it in your next traffic report. You guys are freaking awesome. I love you. Thank you.
tell us where you're stuck and what you see at 844 KNX News.
Brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Your 15-minute drive-through oil change.
If you're an Uber or anyone working in the 1099 gig economy, listen up. You're required to report all your income to the IRS. There are new stringent rules. In fact, it's recently been reported that you can even get $600. Ignoring this could mean tax evasion and huge penalties and even restrictions on your ability to work. You can't afford that kind of stress, the fear of losing your income, maybe even your home. Go to taxclosure.org now. They specialize in helping gig workers like you resolve tax issues. Instead of spending thousands on legal fees with no guarantees, go to taxclosure.org. No wait, no delay, same-day IRS tax relief company for gig workers. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call now for your free consultation. 516-874-0647. That's 516-874-0647. Taxclosure.org. 516-874-0647.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call the Special Debt Relief Hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
For all station contest rules, go to knxnews.com/rules.
The Pantages in Hollywood is out this morning with its list of new shows for the 2025-26 season, and Stereophonic is on the list. It's the most Tony Award nominated play of all time. Also on the list, Hell's Kitchen from Alicia Keys. There's a separate play about women who fought for the right to vote. Notebook the musical. Beauty and the Beast. And this one. Battle Oh, so many more. Season ticket packages on sale now. Broadway and Hollywood.com. 8:55.
Traffic now brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group Accident Injury Attorney Susie Jessup.
North outside of the 5-3 miserable commute from Commerce all the way to Burbank. Burbank Airport. Heavy and slow things open up, and then it's your normal things open up, and then it's your normal morning, after morning. For that southbound side of the 5, basically from Colorado, it's going to stay slow. All the way into the East LA interchange, you get a little bit of a break, and then it's going to be on and off flowing basically from the 710 in towards Santa Fe Springs. Your Southern California Toyota dealers instant eye view for that westbound side of the 91 right at Clark. The collision still blocking the carpool in the left lane. You're backed up right now, almost in towards Orange County. Starting to back up in towards Carmenita. That's really heavy and slow. And speaking of Orange County, southbound side of the 405 freeway, this is right at Harbor Boulevard. This collision involving a motorcyclist being cleared from the 3 left lanes, but still a very heavy and slow ride. I would say from before Edinger as you make your way to Harbor, then things look pretty good. After Harbor as you make your way into Irvine. Injured at work, it's now easier than ever to find the injury help you need. Just text injury help to 40222. Downtown attorneys will have to get time off needed to recover, and you get paid for injuries on the job. Text injury help to 40222 or call downtown in your search bar. SoCal's long reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5. The Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Not a bad day today. Sunshine, a little warmer, more than 60s. Tomorrow it's 60s and 70s, and then we'll add on a couple more degrees for Sunday. Next week we're getting more rain. We'll get a few rounds, at least 2 or 3 days of rain.
2 months since the fires broke out. So what happens going forward? Will there be tax increases to pay for it? We asked the supervisor more in minutes.
Hi, already. If you normally buy your suits at a men's store, their suits are sold all over the country, but for 4 or 5 times more than what you're going to pay at Hollywood Suits. You'll get 3 of the finest merino wool suits for $599. That's for all 3 suits. And they even throw in 3 colors.
자를 저렇게 진짜 많이 알았다. 길이 이쁜 많이 알았다.
They have everything. Gear jackets, tuxedos, casual wear, and footwear. You gotta visit the Hollywood Suits with over 30,000 suits, literally, for you to pick from, and 3 gigantic locations in Hollywood, Torrance, and Westminster. Everyone call 800-699 or HollywoodSuits.com.
If you suffered from the wildfire, one question will tell you if you found the right lawyer. Ask if they only take wildfire cases. They don't. Bridgeford, Gleason, and Artenian are the experts in wildfire law. They've represented nearly 12,000 victims, recovering nearly $2 billion for their clients, and they'll help you. For expert representation or a wise second opinion, come to a free, informative town hall meeting near you. Get details at wildfiretownhall.com. Wildfiretownhall.com. Wildfiretownhall.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your lead filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause